Hello, I'm VJ Karana. Welcome to a brand new series of My Australia, the show about people from overseas having Australian experiences. Coming up on today's show, Danma goes abseiling, Raymond visits a turtle hospital, and Ida learns to paint the Aboriginal way. If you ask me, there's nothing more frightening than standing at the top of a cliff, leaning back and letting yourself go. That's what our first guest is about to do, with a rope attached, of course. Let's take a look.
My name is Danma. I'm from Tibet in China. We got sheep, horses, yaks, and I heard lots of things about Australia from one of my Australian friends. So I applied for scholarship at UTS and I got scholarship. I'm doing public communication.
And did you find it easy?
I'm so concerned. I don't know Australian culture very well, and maybe they can't understand my English because of accent.
Right, then we started up there.
I live in UTS dormitory in campus. I got 5 roommates, 4 Australian students and 1 from South African. The best part of living in Australia, people are quite open-minded. Like, no matter where you come from, what kind of cultural background, and easy to make friends, and very easy to talk to them. We are in Katoomba in Blue Mountains, outside of Sydney. We are going to do the abseiling today in Blue Mountains. I have never done abseiling before, but what I understand is it's climbing on the cliff. It's quite windy today, and it is very cold. I'm quite afraid of climbing on the cliff.
Hi Danma, how you going? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Danma.
Looking forward to your day abseiling in the Blue Mountains?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to
So
Katoomba.
excited.
Yeah. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off on a little beginner abseil, a little practice one. It's about 5 metres, and we're just going to go through our technique and that sort of thing, just so you're feeling really comfortable in your skills and feeling really safe with the whole system. And then after that, we're going to go to a 15-metre. Really beautiful, really spectacular view to look out at, and that's going to be really exciting as well. And if you're feeling up to it, we've got a 30-metre abseil as well for you, really exciting. So you're looking forward to it?
Absolutely, yes.
Leave your feet where they are, let the rope slide through your hand. My name is Ashley, I'm an outdoor guide for River Deep Mountain High. I've been in the industry for about 3 years, really enjoying it, lots of fun. That's great.
My name is Ian. I absolutely love my job. My job description is throwing people over a cliff, so that always amuses people.
Yay.
Excellent.
My name's Tyler. This is definitely the field I want to work in. Abseiling is definitely my passion. The fear factor's definitely there, like a thrill seeker.
I had a wonderful beginning lesson, and I did very well. I'm quite confident and to do the next step. The wind is strong and it's quite high, so I don't know if I can handle it. This is a big test for me. 2 ropes. I'm so scared, oh my God. This is unbelievable.
All right. Woo! Good job. That's the hardest part. All done. Good job.
Oh my God. This is amazing. Oh. Oh.
Here, Danma, give me 5. Woo! This is really amazing. Excellent.
If I push myself a little bit, you get more out of life, and it's not necessarily just with adventure activities. With the adventure activities, you do get that excitement and that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I think you're ready to try some jumps this time. So now what we do is we just bend our knees in, push off the rock and catch, okay? So you're feeling good about that? So now, oh my God, this is really amazing. Look, oh, it's so good. I did it. Fantastic. Good job, Danma.
I'm so excited. Like, this time is more difficult than the first time. Like, it's become harder and harder.
Yeah, so doing the jumps this time, you put a new challenge on it, and you did really well. You did excellent.
It's good.
Yeah. So do you think you'd like to have a go at the 30?
Yeah, I'm quite excited.
Excellent.
Yes, I want more challenge.
Oh, Danma's doing perfect. Hope she has fun.
What you need to know about this abseil is it's 30 metres long. So what we do, the trickiest part is going over the edge, just like on the last one. So I'll talk you right through that. And then the rest of the abseil is free hanging.
I'm scared.
You can do it, Danma. You can do it. You've been doing everything right so far. This is amazing!
Hey, how was that? Is that good?
So excited. My head, I feel so dizzy.
I love my job. It's great fun. My favourite part is at the end of the day when I ask people, tell me about your day, what did you love about it? They're just blown away and really love the experience. A lot of people describe it as the most amazing thing they've ever done in their lifetime, and that makes me feel really good.
Excellent. Next time. The last one is so amazing.
Yeah. Gets that adrenaline pumping a bit more than you thought it might have today?
Yep.
Fantastic. Oh, I hope you enjoyed your day.
Really, I really enjoyed very much.
Excellent.
And I'm so happy. I did it.
Danma there, showing all the courage in the world. Now let's join Raymond as he visits some sick turtles and reflects on the importance of conservation.
My name is Raymond Unasi. I'm from Bena in the Eastern Highlands of Papua New Guinea. I came to Australia in 2011 to study here in James Cook University. And I'm studying Masters of Applied Science in Natural Resource Management. Back at home, I was working as the conservation officer with a World Wildlife Fund for Nature at the Sibik River Conservation Project. After 6 months, my wife, Maggie, and the son, Sekau, they came and joined me. This is finger, not fish. Fish? Yeah. Not fish, finger. We are living in Townsville in North Queensland. Daily, I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And by 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm already there at the shops. I work until 8 o'clock. And then I come, have breakfast, and I go to the uni. I don't have peace in the house because so much noise. A lot of people go around with their bikes. So I always go to the uni. Afterwards, 9 o'clock in the night, between 9 to 11, I go back 2 hours to do more cleanup. I do whole day Saturday of work, so I'm left with Sundays, which I take my family with me to the beach or fishing. This morning I'm at Reef HQ to see all the reef fish and the turtles. Never seen sick turtles and how they look, and maybe find out what sort of medication they administer or what sort of treatment they give. So it will be interesting to see. I have a lot of sentiments towards conservation, and from day one I knew, when I walked into the classroom, I knew what I was going to do, and I knew I was going to be an environmental activist and a conservationist. This is your main tank?
Yeah, so this is our coral reef exhibit. That's actually the largest coral reef exhibit in the world.
So we're starting with
This is the turtle hospital,
This is the hospital, okay.
So this is Sydney, and Sydney has 3 flippers. It's quite common for us to see turtles that are missing 1 flipper. It may have been bitten off while they were small, or even at this size, they may still get a flipper bitten off. Or they may actually lose a limb to entanglement by nets and lines and things like that. So they're quite strong swimmers even with the 3 flippers.
They swim like the same speed and distance.
The only issue they might have is if they are a female and they're missing a back flipper like that, it can be hard for them to dig a nest.
Oh, yeah. Back in Papua New Guinea, turtles are under a strict conservation guideline. It's just a government, imposed guideline. But then the people said that no, it's legally all right for them to take. So it's a big challenge.
So what are you studying out at uni?
Oh, I'm doing natural resource management.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How long is that?
It's about to complete now in almost a day's time.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Where would you like to work after then, do you think?
Well, from there I'm going down to Rockhampton, to work turtle management project.
Okay, yeah.
With the Green in Australia for 3 months.
Yep.
And then if I'm good, they'll keep me. So this guy here, he had the hook, and then it got released back with the hook.
We had to release it. That's a stainless steel hook, which means that will never rust out of that turtle. It will be there its entire life. But we're pretty confident that it will be fine. The vets were confident that nothing worse was going to happen to it. So
in the Great Barrier Reef and also in all the seas of the world, they're currently, swimming around with all those hooks and metals and plastics in their body. It's so sad.
You feeling game?
Oh, well, yeah, I think.
You like all of your fingers, or do you have one you don't particularly like?
You first.
Me first? All right, I'll show you with one and then you can finger the others. Good girl, come on. There you go. So she'll chew that up and then swallow it down.
Okay, now I'm getting used to it.
They don't move too fast.
Yeah. It makes me think about, if we can have a practical kind of program back at home where each village and each community is, if they can be assigned certain take, and once they reach that quota of harvesting for their traditional use, then they can't take anymore. It always takes, teamwork, and a few lawyers around the place that I know who can, environmental lawyers and some politicians who are green conscious politicians. If we can work around with them, I'm sure we can get something done to get some legislation done on the village level and in the community level. And I feel that would have achieved one of those things that probably was going to be unthinkable, and in a country that has other priorities. They have priorities of economy and priorities to do with infrastructure building, and they don't talk much about conservation. Come on, Sydney. Relax, Sydney.
We take the width of the head. So for this one, I have to take the blindfold off. So what I'll need you to do is just, if you can hold her flippers, just halfway down the flipper like this. Oops. And just, there you go. Kicking my instruments off the table. You can tell she's getting more healthy because when she first came in, all she could do was lie there and look at us. So we measure the widest part of the head.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Now I'll get you to help me lift her. If you can grab the shoulder like this and the back, and we'll put her down onto the scales.
Yay.
And hands off for a second. 14.1.
Back home.
There we go.
Yo.
So we're going to go up and feed the coral reef exhibit now.
Oh, wow. That is so massive.
Yeah, so from above, it just makes it a lot easier to see how large this exhibit actually is.
Yeah, it is.
So start with a bit of squid. That should attract some of the fish over.
I love fish, and the good thing about eating fish is that you will know that this is something good that you eat, and it's kind of a, something that you must protect if you want to have more of it. Crystal, I have been working with fish and at the aquarium. You still eat fish for dinner?
I do still eat fish, but I try to take fish from aquaculture where I can and sustainable resources, obviously. But one thing I won't eat after working with is octopus. So I will never eat another octopus.
Why is that?
They're too smart and fun and friendly, so I couldn't do it anymore.
Having seen through it today, a real sense of responsibility that can come into you once you appreciate, and I'm beginning to appreciate what is out there, and I feel so honored, and I'm so happy that I'll have a different dimensions to what I see out there when I go out in the boat or out fishing.
Great stuff, Raymond. Well, one of the best-known parts of Australia's Indigenous culture is its art. Aboriginal painting is known around the world. Let's see what some people here think about it.
Do you like Aboriginal art?
I do. I appreciate it.
I think it's absolutely fabulous, and I think it's so popular because it's something that attracts all of us.
Yeah, I think it's visually pleasing. Like the patterns and everything are quite nice.
I just like looking at it. It was really interesting to see the symbols.
Well, they tell stories of their culture, so obviously I'm not Indigenous Australian, so I'm probably going to get this wrong, but they tell stories of how they used to hunt, the women who would sit around the campfires and what their roles were, and how the men would go off. They tell stories of the places of where they would reside, that sort of thing.
Well, it's meant to represent signs like there's certain signs campfire, and it's meant to tell a story, but it's in today's world it's a little bit lost.
The new artists that are coming in are really interesting, and they are trying to relate it to a newer generation.
I find some of it can be very emotional, so it really speaks to Australian people.
To be honest, I don't know that much about Aboriginal art, but my dad's part Aboriginal, it runs in my family, so I really would like to learn a lot more about it. But I think that Aboriginal art is very underestimated.
The Dreamtime is such a beautiful stories, and there's so much more depth to the paintings than a lot of people might realise. That I think that's the real pull.
Now let's join Ida as she learns how to do Aboriginal painting.
My name is Ida. I'm from Indonesia. At home, I've got a job at uni teaching English literature. I'm currently studying at the University of Wollongong. What are you doing? My study is sponsored by Australian government. There are many things I love about Australia. The nature in Australia is fantastic. The blue sky, the clean beaches, the smell of the gum tree. Yeah, those things are really heaven for me. I came to Wollongong with my husband and my son.
Let's go. That's cool.
I'm very active in Indonesian Student Association. Selamat pagi. Okay. I enjoy speaking with the students in the high school.
2, 3.
When there's an upcoming event of summer dance, we practice almost every afternoon. I can laugh when we make a mistake in a dance. When I have a chance to study in Australia, one of my wishes at that time is that I can get engaged with Aboriginal people. I'm going to learn Aboriginal painting. I've never done any painting at all in my life. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm afraid that my painting will be bad, but my excitement to learn about Aboriginal art beat everything.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Ida.
Nice to meet you. How are you going, Ida?
Good, thank you.
I'm,
Yourself?
I'm Lorraine.
Yeah.
I'm Narelle.
Hi, Narelle. Nice to meet you too.
Ida, we're the Community Artists Cooperative.
We paint and we work with a lot of students, a lot of people that want to know about Aboriginal culture, Aboriginal art.
It's a way of contacting with other people. It's like a bridge to other communities and for them to get an understanding of Aboriginal people and Aboriginal culture. So we make it presentable for them so that...
I really want to tell my story through painting about my experience living in, coming and living in Australia. At the moment, since the Bali bomb, the reaction of the world community has changed toward Islam or toward Muslim. Yes. I feel that some Australian people see my hijab as a prevention for them to get know more about me. I feel a little bit like disturbed with that. If they don't know me, how can they judge? If I can express my experience as a Muslim living in Australia through Aboriginal painting, that would be great. I feel so excited. Meeting with Narelle and Lorraine and talk to them directly, face to face. That's what my wish so far before I came to Australia. I told them that I'm going to tell about my experience living here. Like, I found that some Australian people might have certain prejudice towards people who wear hijab, and they thought that they still judge people from their appearance.
I think we've got an understanding of what she's going through, and when she stated the kind of artwork she wanted to do to sort of get it out there, that she's just as normal as anybody else, and for people not to have fear of her, I thought, well, that's a good thing, because it's like us trying to get our community better known, instead of people making judgments about us. Is she bringing in level with that?
We've got similarities in our life, Aboriginal people and Muslims. Yeah. We experience prejudice, we experience racism. So I found that an interesting story because I can share my experience, my feeling to them. I look forward to express that in my painting. Hello, I'm Ida. Nice to meet you.
My granddaughter, sorry.
Okay, nice to meet you. The title of my painting is My Journey. Wow. It tells about, my journey from Indonesia to Australia, and the journey is represented by the footprints from Indonesia to Australia. And today, my wish come true. I feel so happy. Yeah. I talk with Lorraine and Narelle in a quite intimate way. Like, we share our story. I share my feeling to them, my experience to them, and to my surprise, we've got quite similar experience. We've got one thing in common that about the idea of prejudice that happened between me as a Muslim and them as the traditional people in Australia. I feel more empathy and solidarity with them. Yeah.
And you're happy with it?
I'm really happy, more than happy.
Okay, thank you very much for a good day.
Thank you very much.
Really good, thank you.
Thank you.
I think it came together really well. Edith comes from Indonesia, and she's shown herself and who she is by painting herself in the fair smack bang in the middle of Australia. We're a multicultural country, and we have been for a long time.
I think the painting turned out good. Edith said she couldn't paint, but put a few ideas together and working with me and my sister and sort of working out how she wanted to explain it and how she wanted people to get the message. And I think the paintings turned out really good. I'm really pleased with it.
I feel very happy. I've never thought that I can paint it that beautiful. If Lorraine and Narelle didn't help me, maybe that would not be that beautiful. So I feel really excited about that. I'm very happy with my painting because it is more beautiful than I imagined before.
That's Ida, proving that a picture does tell 1,000 words. That's it for this episode of My Australia. Here's what's coming up next week. David swims with crocodiles, Jayshree visits a nature park, and Priya sets sail in Australia's capital, Canberra. See you then.